The following preview has been rated good by the Good, the Bad, the Weird podcast. Please check out the full episode when it releases on Wednesday. The following preview has been released for fans of the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast only. Unauthorized listeners will be neuralized. The preview has also been copyrighted under intergalactic law under Alien Ordinance 721997, subsection J. I'm Nico.
And I'm Chris.
Welcome to the Good, the Bad, and the Weird previews. We are doing Men in Black for our 4th of July Alien episode.
It was about time. About time. I love this movie.
This
movie is fantastic, and I'm so glad it held up. We have been going back through and revisiting some of those ones that we remember as being amazing, greats, shaping our youth, and then revisiting them and discovering how truly terrible they have been. Oh yeah, no, and this one I'm glad we went back to it because I think this year we had wanted to do a comedy rather than this more serious ones we've done in the past, so we decided to do Men in Black over like Galaxy Quest. Yeah, iconic in its own right too. Definitely, and also like there's just so many like arguably more serious alien movies than there are goofy ones. There's plenty of ones that are kind of goofy, but
they're not goofy intentionally like Men in Black. They're goofy because they're bad movies.
Exactly. Where Men in Black not only is goofy, but that humor manages to still be funny. Like Will Smith's gags and the slapstick humor still pretty good. There's only a few times where like, okay, it doesn't look quite the same, or like maybe it's aged a bit, but honestly, for the most part, visually still looks great.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the special effects, I'd still put it on par with like old Star Wars.
Oh, which I mean helps because that's who did the special effects.
No, exactly.
but yeah, no, I completely agree. I think the mixed use of puppets and real life props plus the CGI looks phenomenal. I think the plot is so stupid and like over the top that there's holes, there's big holes, but like this movie is fast. It is fast paced, so you don't really have time to think about how absolutely bonkers the plot of this movie is.
Yeah.
And honestly, that kind of works for an action summer blockbuster.
Well, and on top of that, I think why it still holds up, especially considering that I rewatched the second and third one before this review.
Yes.
Well, watched the third one for the first time. Is that they stay away from doing of that time frame jokes.
I agree. I think the only time they really tried to do that was there's a couple of like background celebrities and a couple of background celebrity references. Some work, some those celebrities aren't as famous anymore, or you probably don't remember them.
Or it's one of the producers or something.
Which, maybe at the time were a little bit more of a household name, but now I would need to look them up.
Yeah, no, it definitely has areas where it has aged a little bit. Specifically that one detective reference that even I had to look up.
Yeah, that one's a little rough.
Yeah, there are parts, but as a whole,
it still works.
Yeah, and I'm glad we went back to it because there were a lot of parts that I forgot about and little details that I didn't notice when I was younger.
Yeah,
that really make the movie and expand the world, and I think that actually that's the core of it. Is this movie was focused on creating its world instead of creating a sequel to that world.
I completely agree, which is disappointing that the second one and the third one didn't really do much with that world because there's quite a bit that like they created, but they also left so many holes in this world that like anything could have been the possibility. Yeah.
No, and I think that is the issue because, I mean, we bring up John Wick in this episode too, but that's where John Wick, in John Wick 2, they didn't know where to go from there.
True.
So they had to up the level just a little bit, and
yes.
Honestly, Men in Black doesn't really do that. It's a lot of the same stuff. It's a different type of MacGuffin, and it's another threat to the alien or to the human race.
Which, I mean, it's an alien movie, to be expected, but yeah, there definitely could have been more for the sequels, but rewatching the first one, I had a great time, and I enjoyed it so much that I refuse to give your DVD back until my husband has a chance to rewatch it.
I don't blame you, but I mean, I think that's what's great about it is, despite the second and third movie not being great, the first movie is still one that you can go back to, even though
it is. And, okay, and yes, the second and third one aren't great. However, the Universal branded, like, fun and sillies that went with it, so, like, the toys, the old games, I think there was, like, even a board game style game that came out with this, the ride in Universal, the books that came out with it, that they don't really add anything to the world other than just, like, naming all of the goofy weapons in the background.
Yeah.
But, like, that's fun. And, like, I still enjoy having occasionally just, like, a goofy research as opposed to, like, having to dig through World War II history.
Exactly. That's why I like this one so much, too, from a research standpoint, is, I was going through these dumb books that I would have read as a kid.
Oh, 100%. Like, these would have been my jam as a kid. And, like, at one point I had, like, gone through and seen a lot of these, like, props and replicas, and so, like, it is kind of fun. Like, they looked silly and cheesy even in real life. Like, they look like toys from the movie to being behind a piece of glass. It still looks like a plastic water gun that's been spray painted silver.
Good.
But, like, that's kind of the fun with it, is it feels like a summertime movie.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, I think what's great about it is its integration of just alien lore and stuff.
I agree.
Or the Men in Black lore.
I agree, because, like, the lore of Men in Black definitely existed well before the movie. However, this movie created a face and a style to that lore that is just ingrained in us today. Yes,
a fun face and style to it, too.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that, again, harping back to the sequels, that I think they're lacking on is exactly that, is it wasn't as tightly written as the first one, and that's what's great, is the first one is so well written. Like, there are little nods here and there that just carry through the entire movie, and that's what's great.
Oh, definitely. And, like, despite there being giant plot holes everywhere, there are enough running themes to carry certain elements and certain characters that it does all work out in the end.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's the Men in Black. That's our initial thoughts for it, at least. So
it's such a good one.
Yeah, but this has been the Good, the Bad, and the Weird previews.
Check out the full episode.
Peace.